Alright, here we are in a beautiful, warm El Cajon, California afternoon, looking at a really neat little car. This is a 1929 Ford that was custom built by a father and son on a project. Beautiful little car. You'd never know the modifications that are done to it, and that's what's cool about a car like this, is when you look at it, it looks like it came just from the factory that way. This in reality is a car that wasn't even built in 1929, but we're going to walk around and tell you about it. It's a 1929 Ford two-door Deluxe Phaeton. It's really cool. It's one they didn't build, but what the owner did, it took a lot of time and is very meticulous in his presentation. Has a Brookfield chassis. It's an all-steel body done in a highboy format. It's finished in a rose beige and I'm trying to remember, seal brown, two-tone. So those are all been factory colors of the period, but it's a nice little period style hot rod. What they did is, a lot of guys back in the day would try and create a Phaeton by chopping the top off a two-door. With this particular car, they did not do that, because the problem with that is that the car would end up looking like a two-door with a chop top off it. They actually took a four-door body, Phaeton body, and extended, if you look up here, they extended the doors and then they eliminated the rear doors and then brought it up and just made it proportionally correct. And what's cool about that is that the Phaeton top folds and works perfectly like it would have done on the four-door version. Actually, it would have been a war in 1929 when they added a door over on the other side. It sits in the saddles here, and just like it would have from the factory. So the top fits like it's supposed to, and it makes it so the highboy version of it, it's just a great traditional style hot rod. Underneath the hood is a 350 Chevy 4-barrel V8 turbo 400 automatic transmission, Ford 9-inch rear differential by Johns. Has a Speedway Engineering dropped axle in the front here, split bones in the front. Has a Lincoln style Zephyr style hydraulic brakes in the front here, 12-inch brakes. The proportions and stance are just excellent with this car. You walk up, go to a car show with this car, guys are going to be scratching their head going, wait a minute. Anyway, 1930 they did build a two-door Phaeton, but it was late in the model year and there's not a lot of those cars around. But guys always wanted to chop the top off a two-door and try and create one of these, when the right way to do it's what this gentleman did. Very, very nice, all steel, proportionally. He did a lot of cool things in order to get the radiator to fit these rails on this. They modified the bottom of the radiator here so that it would fit down between the frame rails. Has a custom built headlight bar in the front here. The color, the rose beige, is just beautiful. It's almost like a darker than a Folkestone gray kind of color. It really fits the car well. Inside, he used 29 seats. We're going to get in the inside here. The top is very nice Henry Ford style material. We'll get up front here, kind of give you a feel. You'll see it has a nice little pinstripe here that goes along the side. Same upholstery on the door panels, are on all the way on the door panels, and the seats are all matching. A lot of cool little trick things here we'll cover to you. It's got electric cutouts for the exhaust. The seats do like they would have done back in 1929. They fold forward and fold up, so you can get somebody in the back seat here. It's got a neat little storage compartment, German square weave style carpet in it. Little hidden compartment back here with a lock on it. It has the car only has 429 miles on it right now since it was built. You'll see that it's an original Phaeton, folding top, fits back in the factory saddles like we talked about, factory seats. Underneath is just as, very, very tidy all the way through. Emergency brake here, just like it would have been from the factory, at least on the top side as far as appearance. The fuse panel's a really neat fuse panel. If you got a fuse out, it'll actually have a little light that'll tell you a fuse is out. This is the factory style instrument cluster and the odometer that he had actually reworked so that it would work with the turbo 400 automatic transmission. This shifter looks like it would have been for the 3-speed gearbox that it would have been in it, but it actually operates the 3-speed automatic turbo 400. Wind picked up a little bit here. I hope it's not messing with the camera too much or the video audio. Doors shut really super easy. I just pushed it with my thumb there. You can see professional quality paint on it. Very fresh car, fun car. So if you want something that's a little bit different, make people scratch their heads and look at it and say, hey, it's done right. Take a good look here. It has the luggage rack on the back that folds down so you can put some goodies in the back. Little ice chest if you want it, or some luggage, vintage luggage. We'll actually go through the undercarriage like we usually do. Factory style bumpers, that kind of thing. I'm going to show you a couple cute, cool little things here. The gentleman that did it with his son actually owned an engraving company. So there's a lot of neat little things on it that you'll see. And like the tag, we'll have a picture at Spud's Garage, the firewall tag. It looks like a Ford patent tag, but it's actually talks about the build of the car. Objects in this mirror will soon disappear. Instead of smaller than they appear, or bigger than they appear, whatever. Whole weekend on the road here. Again, German square weave carpet. Nice chocolate brown interior. Goes good with this seal brown two-tone on it. And he utilized original materials to put it together. This is actually an original component, and you can't get these anymore. The gauge is where it mounts to the column here. So it's got some neat gauges to it. The headlight switch is down low here. The start button's underneath the carpet there. You just kind of push it. Berber style floor mats. Factory type steering column. I was talking about some of the engraving, just the little things. You see where it says right down here, I'll zoom in on it. It's engraved always signal. In other words, this car has no turn signals, or does it have blinkies on it? No turn signals, so you want to use your arms, and it's just reminding you to use your turn signals. The factory fuel gauge here works like it's supposed to. It's in the cowl. Factory on a 29, it's about a 10-gallon tank. You just push this on. We're going to open up those pipes. We got them open right now. We'll actually do it so you can hear both. He's done a nice volt gauge here in the dash. So you have 3 gauges. Your volt gauge here, it's running 13 to 14 volts. Temperatures are 160 or so. It's a nice warm day here. Oil pressure's great. We're going to open them up. I may have said that backwards just a minute ago. Cutouts open. Anyway, we think you get the idea. This is a lot of fun car. A lot of value for the money. If you want to be just a little bit different, this is a fun one. Have a great day. Hang on to the end of the video. Go to spudsgarage.com. Alright, we'll get you underneath the hood here and share the engine compartment. My favorite part is always, this car is just really meticulous in about every corner putting this thing together. Very nice 350 Chevy V8. All the components were purchased from Edelbrock as far as the tune goes, so the intake is matched to the camshaft and the Edelbrock cylinder heads, aluminum cylinder heads, hydraulic camshaft. It's a 350 block that's been bored 30 over, all professionally rebuilt, nicely done. Has ram horn exhaust manifolds on it here. Headers is what they are. They're a header type, cast. Turbo 400 automatic transmission. Look at the detail here, the cloth wires, and he used cloth wires in the engine compartment here for the horn and for the electric choke. Kind of gives it that vintage feel all the way through, almost like it was built that way. It's finished in the Model A, Model B engine color green, which is kind of neat. So is the tranny. Up front here you'll get a field twin fan belts, so if you lose one, it's kind of a nice safety factor. See the cloth wires here on the horn, nicely wrapped, heat shrinked. Transmission coolers in the radiator. Car runs cool and runs nice here in SoCal where it's warm. Oil bath style air filter, or at least it looks like it. It's got an air filter housing, but it looks like they use the top and bottom of one, so there's a lot of neat stuff. Again, the steering joints, there's a Mullen box down here. All nicely done on this Brookfield chassis. Kind of give you a good feel here. The idea was to keep it looking retro style hot rod, like they would have built them back in the day. Put the engine cover this side. Fuel pressure regulator. This little gadget down here, this when you turn the key off, it actually blocks the fuel so it can't leak out any further. It utilizes the factory fuel tank in the cowl here. Very nice rose beige all the way through. You'll see how it gives it that oil bath look or feel in the top of the air filter with some early Ford decals on it. RPM Performer intake manifold. Has a John's 9-inch rear differential. Just a cute little car. Thanks for listening to me. Hang on to the end of the video and we'll cover a lot more for you. Alright, let's get you to the undercarriage here. This father and son project is just super nice, top to bottom. A lot of time and love went into this car, it's quite clear. Built on a Brookfield chassis, very nicely done. It's got a triangulated 4-bar rear suspension with adjustable coilovers on it. Has 9 or 10-inch hydraulic drum brakes in the rear. It has power assist all the way around. Custom exhaust that leads out the back here. Very nicely done, ram horn style exhaust manifolds on it. It's got cutouts, we'll get up there to that. Here it has, everything was done just right too. He ran braided lines to all the brake components that needed to have rubber or flexible lines on them. The rear tires are a 31-10-5 on the back. Done on nice Vintique style wheels with deluxe trim. Kind of give you a feel. John's 9-inch rear differential, custom exhaust. I believe those are MagnaFlow mufflers. Has cutouts on the exhaust, electric cutouts on it that are really sweet. Those are MagnaFlow mufflers. Dual exhaust wraps around. The turbo 400 automatic transmissions right there. Has a Speedway Engineering front axle. It has early bones, split bones. They're custom bones that have been reversed upside down. Has a Speedway Engineering front axle with the huge Lincoln Zephyr style front brakes on it. 12-inch hydraulic drum brakes in the front. Again, braided hydraulic lines. Chrome gas shocks in the front. Custom built headlight bar there. You kind of get a feel for that. Front tire size is a 145 R15. So nice and skinny. This thing steers really nice. Again, the Vintique style wheels. Ford 2-light headlamps on the front. Pro shocks, gas, chrome plated, dropped axle, Speedway Engineering. I know I said that. Buggy spring up front here. Very nice. Car only has less than 500 miles on it. We already covered that for you. It has a Mullins American-made steering box in it with typical cross steer. Very nice. You'll see the power brake booster right there. We're thinking you get the idea. This one's just way too much fun. Definitely go to spudsgarage.com where I have a beautiful ton of still photos on it. There's a cutout on this side. Electric cutouts. Have a great day. Go to spudsgarage.com. Thanks for listening to me.